What's up, everybody? Welcome to a Monday edition of the Ysn Power Hour. DJ Yoakley with you, as well as Mr. Quinn Pushkar holding down the middle. Alec is in the G. Burbick Farm Studios. Ty is outside.
We broke out of jail today, so
That a boy. That a boy. He's on his lunch break, I think, from the state pen. And then we've got, of course, EB. What's up, boys? How was your weekend?
It was all right.
Super. We first want to apologize for being a couple minutes late here. There was a heated discussion going on in the YSN studios here about cold weather hitting in Major League Baseball. We can discuss that later. A little bit hot under the collar right now from the person who was on his way out, give or take. And let's put it this way, it wasn't Anthony Hartwig for some of his takes on social media last night. But all that aside, as Andrew Fallett says, hi all. Hi, Andrew. Hope you're doing well. One of the YSN broadcasters down at Ysn Park. Gentlemen, we can't be mad because it is National Pretzel Day. And with that, there's only one thing that we can do. Hopefully I can share my screen the way I want to here. Where's it at? Here it is. All right, stand by for this one because there's only one thing we can do on National Pretzel Day. Okay, here we go. Can we hear it?
I wake up every morning in a bed that's too small, driving my daughter to a school that's too expensive, and then I go to work to a job for which I get paid too little. But on Pretzel Day, well, I like Pretzel Day.
So happy National Pretzel Day to all of you. Could you hear that?
That's
Sure
quiet.
could.
So National Pretzel Day. My question is, are you like Michael Scott? Do you have everything on your pretzel when you go to get one on a soft pretzel, or is there a specific go-to for you for Pretzel Day? Quinn, we'll start with you.
I just need cheese. I'm weird. I just like cheese. Soft pretzels, I'm assuming, right? That what kind of
Absolutely.
pretzel it is? I don't eat the out of a bag. That's just weird.
What?
Nah. Why would
You don't eat,
why would I eat pretzels when I could eat a whole bag of Doritos? Like, come on. Soft pretzel, cheese, salt, a lot of salt. That's it.
You just ordered your pretzel like James Bond orders a martini. Salt, a lot of salt. Alec, what's your go-to for pretzels?
Well, it depends because out of bags, I do like out of bags. Unlike Quinn, I like the pretzel sticks dipped in peanut butter. That's good stuff right there.
Okay, what about soft pretzel? Do you take it a certain way?
However they're having, I like it with cheese and salt, but
A lot of salt.
lots of salt.
Ty
Chicken.
Bartell.
yeah, it's either one extreme or the other. If you're going like salty, you got to go just the regular pretzel with a lot of salt and then cheese. And then if you want sweet, the cinnamon sugar pretzels too with Annie Ann's are pretty good as well.
Oh, I see it. EB?
If we're doing like the snack pretzels out of a bag, you got to go. You find them at a lot of bars, but the whiskey sticks. Have you guys ever had that?
No.
Yes.
Yeah, it's pretty good.
Yep.
I don't
Whiskey
like them,
sticks. They're phenomenal. Like it's salt, sugar, and spices. I'll grab you a bag and we'll get you some. Soft pretzel. There's a food truck, Smokeworks in Columbiana, and they do a soft pretzel. It's covered in beer cheese, pulled pork, barbecue sauce, like the whole nine. It's a meal by itself. It's phenomenal. If I feel like rolling around the rest of the day, that's what I would probably choose.
My mom says crab dip and pretzels. Must be nice to have that whenever you're out of the house or your son or daughter are out of the house because we never had that growing up. A lot of salt and cheese. I'm with Quinn, says Amo, who is a sponsor coincidentally now. I think we've talked about this before, the Sheets pretzels that you can get like the
Fantastic.
cheese filled.
Absolutely.
The best.
Absolutely.
Also, anything Annie Ann's, and I know, hit me with it, Matt. I know they're not a sponsor yet. We're gonna get them as well because they are local here to the Valley. But I will say this is Annie Ann's pretzels are made. You can have those any time of day, breakfast, lunch, dinner, snack, whatever, and still be good. So use that for a commercial. So there it is. Happy National Pretzel Day. We want to know how you take your pretzel, especially here with baseball. Oh, Andrew says, I like mustard on the pretzel. Attaboy. going old school baseball style. Just a little bit of ballpark mustard on it. Well, we got a lot to talk about. One of the things I definitely want to get to first out of the gate here, as we look at the new rankings here. Quinn, you and I were looking at it right before we went on the air. We came on the air. There are 3 teams that represent us in the softball rankings for the Ohio High School Softball Coaches Pool. Naturally, Poland is going to represent us in Division II. They come in at number 9. We have Youngstown Ursuline coming in at, they're in. We'll let you know in a second where they ranked in at. Last week they were number 1. And South Range cracking the top 10, breaking into it at number 8. So congratulations to those teams. We also want to throw out a shout-out to Matthews. Not a team yet here at YSN, but they cracked the top 10, actually at a 3-way tie for number 6 in Division 4. So South Range at number 8 in Division 3, which I want to put a public apology out to them because I didn't see them earlier today when I was looking at this same poll. But Ursuline drops down to number 2 here in the state rankings, and they were number 1 last week. So this gets my motor running because I want to ask you guys, how does a team fall from number 1 without losing, and the team that jumped them only had 1 victory to make that hop? So how does that work? I know we talk a lot about the rankings when it comes to college football and naturally the college basketball rankings, things of that nature, and even pro football power rankings. How does a team get hopped over when they don't lose? I think they won 3 games, as a matter of fact, this weekend. How does that happen? Let's start with Ty. Thoughts on this?
It seems like, too, a lot of people like to use the excuse, was it a bad team that kept it close? Or, a team that's, not as highly ranked that kept it close? Did you struggle maybe with a team that's ranked lower? Or something along those lines, or, maybe the team that stays number 1 has a big win over someone that is ranked is usually what they like to look at, too. I'm personally on the other side of it. I feel like if you hold a number 1 spot, you don't lose. A win is a win is a win at the end of the day. You should be able to keep your number 1 spot. I mean, that's the nature of, I think, sports, and that's the nature of defending it. If you don't lose, I don't understand how you drop if you're already ranked there before.
Yeah, I'm sitting there with you. EB, you're pretty bright when it comes to this stuff. Any thoughts on how this possibly could have happened unless coaches decided to change their votes?
Is this AP or coaches poll?
Coaches.
So generally, if it's like some of these other sports, what'll happen is they have like 1 representative to where all the local or regional coaches send it into them, and then they say like, hey, so many people picked this team ahead of this team. I mean, that's generally, like, I know soccer works that way. So it could have been something like that, or like Ty said, to where the team who jumped them pretty much beat, either a bigger division good team, or they got someone back or something like that. I'm not necessarily, I don't get caught up in the polls because, I mean, I look at it like this. When I was in high school, our baseball team was ranked number 1 for the whole, I think, every single poll, and they were the pool champion or whatever it was, but they ended up losing in the district semi. So what's the point? But a lot of times, I believe, like, those coaches have a representative regionally, and each of those coaches in that district, hey, we vote, this is how we vote, because we've seen them play, or we know this team, so they kind of play a little bit of favoritism too, and it can kind of be, I guess, jaded towards certain teams.
So the team that jumped them is Cardington, and they received 6 first-place votes to Ursuline's 3. Also receiving first-place votes, 1 for Wheelersburg and 2 for Williamsburg, who sit respectively 3 and 4 in the polling. I get it too, and I think I'm with you who cares? But if you're Ursuline, I mean, you come out and you're feeling pretty good, as the Division III state number 1 ranked team, and then all of a sudden you don't do anything to lose that. And is the poll flawed? Is it a situation where you just go, I mean, who cares? Or if you're Ursuline, and I put a text out to Coach Kernan this morning, I said, Motivation Monday, you drop from number 1 to number 2 without losing a game. Does this motivate you? And he basically, in layman's terms, said, yeah, saw that, we're going to take care of business. So, Quinn, is this a motivational tool that Ursuline can use for their players and their staff to push over the top and say, now we get to prove ourselves yet again?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I don't know what you get out of it. Like, if you're number one at the end of the year, like what you get out of it, I don't know. Other than like some confidence and stuff like that. But it's definitely something you could use to motivate yourself. 100%. I agree with that. But I mean, I'm sure Coach Kernan would be the first to admit that his main goal is to win a state title, and that's what he's going to set out to do. And I think they have a good shot at it, and this just adds to it.
So did we make more, or do people make more out of this coaches poll than needs to be made out of it? I guess is the next question. Alec, do you think that's one of the cases here?
I think it could be. I'm not really knowledgeable when it comes to this, but I feel like it absolutely could just be a distraction for some people, I guess, for lack of a better word. But I absolutely think that in Ursuline's situation, like, they're going to fight to get that number one spot. Like, I would take it as a pride thing. Like, I would be like, I didn't do nothing to lose this, so why am I getting punished for it, you know?
Yeah, and I don't think it's necessarily a punishment or a penalty,
Right.
but I think that you can use this as a tool to spark your players. But also, listen, you're a good – I mean, we're, 2 weeks left, 2.5 weeks left? Do you really want to poke the bear when it comes to Ursuline? And good for Cardington Lincoln if they hopped over and because they had a big win. But I think, Quinn, you said it was 8-4 over
Ontario or something like that.
Yes, I mean, I don't know. I'm not that familiar with that portion of who they play, but I mean, Cardington Lincoln's good. Let's not get crazy, but reality is how do they go? And I'd have to go back and look at the voting for the first week. But I thought Ursuline did pretty well this week. They held their own, and we actually had Billy on to talk about that game against Hubbard, a walk-off winner, and it's unfortunate. But at the same token, I think that Coach Kernan is a motivational coach to begin with, and I think that he can use this as a motivator for his team. So I'm interested. How would you use this? If you were a coach and you were the number one and then slipped down to number two without losing, how would you use this in a case study to say, hey, we're going to take this and we're going to push our guys, or gals in this case, through the last portion of the season into the tournament? EB?
I think as a coach, you're always trying to find ways or different little nuances to create those motivational things or keep the chip on the shoulder. At the end of the day, I think I would just look at it and say, look, if they don't know who you are, make them know who you are. It's all about respect at this point. And you got enough respect to, be notified in the top 10, let alone, one of the top two. But at the end of the day, one, know your worth. Two, make them remember who you are.
I like it. Remember the Titans old school right there. Ty, is there a way that you could utilize this to motivate or to push your players to go past what they're used to going through at this point in the year?
I think some of the best coaches are the ones that are able to do that, take anything really and turn it into something motivational for their guys or gals, whoever it is they're coaching. And I think in this situation, you can just simply say coaches around the area aren't taking you that serious, so make them take you serious.
I like that. Quinn, how would you use this?
Yeah, I mean, it's. I think Eric touched on it. It's all about respect, and I mean, it's the whole mentality of it's us against the world. They don't respect us, and we're going to make sure they do.
Alec?
Everyone touching all the points I was going to make. Stop disrespecting us. Like, we were number one. We didn't lose. We deserve to be number one. So we're going to prove that we deserve to be number one.
I like it. More to come on this one. Congratulations once again to all three teams. Call it 3.5, or as Billy calls it, 3-5. To our teams that made it onto the coaches' state rank poll: South Range, Poland, and of course Youngstown Ursuline, as well as Matthews. They're the 0.5 because I'm trying to get them, but we'll see how it goes. So good luck to all the local teams. The other part of this, and this is where it gets real interesting, because I had about 2 or 3 of you guys send me message this one. Ty, you led the charge. Mad Bum yesterday throws what we thought was a no-no, and all of a sudden, was it yesterday or Saturday? One of the two. This weekend. Throws 7 innings, no hit, and it is going to count as an unofficial no-hitter in the MLB record books. So my question is should it be counted that way, or should it be counted as a no-hitter? So is it a Mad Bum no-no, or no? We'll go with you, Ty.
The way you look at this, too, and it's odd, and yes, MLB did have these rules in place, too, prior to the season starting, that saying that if you throw a no-hitter or a perfect game in a 7-inning doubleheader, it doesn't officially count unless it goes into extra innings and you play a minimum of 9 innings. But the weird thing is, if you go complete game shutout, it still counts as that too, and all the strikeouts and everything still count. I don't know. I'm kind of – it's hard to not be on the fence about this, but I feel like if you're going to say beforehand this is the minimum number of hitters, I feel like it should be called something in history. I mean, he still throws a no-hitter. Granted, it's not 9 innings. Maybe you don't – I mean, I think it should be called an official no-hitter, though. I think it officially is a no-hitter. He faces the minimum – well, the minimum number of batters without giving up a hit, right? So he faces all – gets 21 outs, doesn't give up a hit. That's the minimum number of outs he needed to get for the game. I feel like it should be counted in some aspects as a no-hitter. And then you look at through other things too, when they were back playing 154 game seasons and, going up to 162, do those season stats hold as much weight when you play, 8 less games or what have you. I think there's just a very interesting discussion about this, and I can see people taking both sides on it. I really can, because then you look at all those situations. Well, how many perfect games were taken in the 7th inning and then blown up? Should those count as it? But I feel like if it's set forth beforehand, this is the minimum number of outs you need to get, and you're able to get it, it should count for something in some regard.
Did you just argue with yourself right there?
I did, because that's what I mean by being on the fence with this, because I was going back and forth with it, but I feel like end all be all, if you know that this is the minimum number of outs that needs to be obtained, it should count for something. Maybe you don't call it a 9-inning no-hitter, but I feel like it should still be counted as a no-hitter.
Who the hell calls it a 9-inning no-hitter? I've never
I'm just saying, if you need to call it something different because you're going to implement these type of rules, I just feel like, you still go face the minimum number, or you get the minimum number of outs without allowing a hit. It should count for something.
Ty's a title guy. I read that right now. You're a title guy. So you're okay with it being anything but an unofficial no-hitter?
I feel why call it unofficial though?
Because it's not
because
official.
It doesn't go 9 innings, but you face still the minimum number of hitters. So why even have a 7-inning game then if you're unable to get these type of stats, if you're unable to achieve these type of rare feats in the game, why even have a 7-inning game?
My only question is the game officially over?
Yes.
Then it's official no-hitter.
No.
Simple. Yeah, it's officially over. It can't extend past that any longer.
So let me ask you this, because this is the question I posed, because Coach Seidel would love to weigh in on this. He's doing a game. That's why he's not here. So the whole Matt Seidel fan club that's waiting for him to come in, he might show up here later in the show. He said once he gets set up. But here's my thing. If it's you complete 5 innings, right, and then rain, snow, torrential downpour comes in, that's a complete game. If someone had a no-hitter at that point, is it an official no-hitter?
Is the game complete?
Through 5 innings,
over?
it is.
Is it over with? They cannot extend that game any further.
Well, you can always extend the game further.
Are you okay? So are you going to play that game or a continuation of that game?
It's considered complete, is what the definition is. Considered complete.
Then put an asterisk next to considered complete.
Then I'm okay with it. If you put an asterisk next to it, then that's fine. But I don't think that it should be
every other person in the world who has an unofficial or a 7-inning game, or just do it for any 7-inning game moving forward. Like,
do we put asterisks next to let's say basketball players who are the 3-point champs? They have the record for 3-pointers, but the players before the 3-point line can't be considered in that. I mean, here's the thing: is as we continue to change the rules, change the game, to try to better the game and better the sport for the fan and for the players, like, you're going to have to concede some things. And this is just one of those things. And, I mean, he knew the rule going in. I mean, everybody knew the rule going in. So he throws a no-hitter. Congratulations. Like, he's still going to go drink 30 beers in the locker room after the game. Like, he's not being penalized at all for this. But because it's unofficial, people are losing their freaking minds about this. He doesn't care. Like, he came out in the press conference, as Matt said, and said basically, yeah, I would have taken them down too. Like, there's confidence, and nobody can prove him any different. But he also isn't going to get credit for the no-hitter. So,
well, that's why they change these rules, and they say minimum however many hitters or minimum however many shots. And if you breach that or you hit that milestone, then there should be nothing said about it. The only thing
that would bother me is if he had a clause in his contract for, like, if he threw a no-hitter or a perfect game, he gets an extra $250,000 or something like that. Would suck. But otherwise, what's the big deal? Like, everybody saw it happen.
Right.
And I mean, at the end of the day, if there's a clause in the contract, I mean, I still feel you should be able to get it. And if you have a problem with that, manager still at the end of the day decides who throws when. So,
Well, yeah, and here's the other thing is if he's got that clause in his contract, everybody else sits out for stupid reasons, then he can sit out his contract if they're not going to pay him that $250,000. And we don't know that's the case. We just made it up, pulled it out of thin air. But that would be the only part that would suck about that. You know what I mean? Like those things are intricacies in contracts that we have no idea and we'll never know. But as far as a no-hitter, I'm going with unofficial because there's 2 more innings that this guy should have pitched. You know what I mean? And I understand it's not his fault, but
see, that's where I disagree. And, when it comes down to like a 5-inning game that gets rained out, there was still innings that needed to be played. It was predetermined. This is a 9-inning game. So where I'm getting caught up on, this is predetermined. This is a 7-inning game. Before going in, there's got to be 7 innings that need to be complete officially to be a complete game, providing that weather allows it to happen, it doesn't get cut short. You go those 7 innings. I don't know, man. It's like, that's why it's hard. It's like, why have the 7-inning game in the first place? Like, I understand if weather provides, it cuts it off. I'm all right with it then. If it was predetermined, this is supposed to be a 9-inning game, you have to go 27 outs. That's fine. But this was predetermined 7 innings. He went the whole game, got all the outs, didn't allow a hit. You know what I mean? That's where I get caught up on it. And that's where I sit on the fence, and it's hard for me to really take a side on it. But I feel like it should count for something in some regards. If you're going to have that type of game already in place.
I want Ty keeping the book for me. Like, when I'm hitting, I want hit because I'm going to hit a duck fart through the infield. The kid's going to get a touch on it, like boot it 6 times, and Ty's going to go infield hit.
No, I just feel like I don't know. I feel like that it should be counted for. Something. If you're going to have that kind of rule, I feel like history shouldn't be barred from.
I don't have any participation trophies to give you, but looking for one. Nope.
Don't worry,
nothing.
I do. Hold on.
Okay, participation trophy coming. There it is. But doesn't this feel like a participation trophy if they just decide, hey, you threw 7, you tried really hard for 7 innings. Here you go. Here's a no-hitter.
What I have a problem with is why have a 7-inning game if you're going to count all other statistics, but historical feats are barred from that. And just have it a double header 9-inning game then.
Because it's not official. I don't know how to describe it or better you're taking some of the shine off of the 9-inning no-hitter. Does that make sense?
I get what you're saying too. I don't know. I just have a problem with the word unofficial because it's still, like Evie said, it's still an official game. It was predetermined that there's 7 innings here. It's not by his fault or anybody's fault. He throws 7 innings. I think it's on the league at that point then.
So
if you're going to have 7 innings.
How many games already this year have we seen go no hit through 7, 8?
And that's where I was on the fence with it too. But again, like I said, those are predetermined to go 9 innings. It's known to go 9 innings. And I'm saying, it shouldn't be as held as high regard as a 9-inning no-hitter, but I still don't think it's unofficial. Like, it shouldn't have a place in history because it still should. It's still a no-hitter. You can just say it's 7 innings. But, I mean, again, do we look at stats, too, from the 1950s, 1940s and say, well, they played 154 games on here. They don't hold as much weight. Or do we look at today's stats and be like, well, now they're playing 8 more games because he hit X amount of home runs this season. Doesn't hold as much weight as when Babe Ruth hit 54 in a season.
Do you think this will stick? Do you think that, moving forward next year, the competition rules committee and the officiating committee are going to meet and rule this as a official no-hitter if pitchers do that?
I feel like if you're going to keep around the 7-inning double header rules like that, something's going to happen because I feel like there's going to be enough people that are upset about it. Either it's going to have to go back to 9-inning double headers or something's going to be changed with it, I feel like.
The argument to me is that there's pitchers that don't go 7 innings anymore. Pitchers are actually getting less of a workload as we move forward. So you're seeing 6 innings out of a pitcher is a quality start. So you turn that over, maybe that side is the part that needs to be argued, Ty. So 7 innings becomes a no-hitter because 6 innings is now the standard for a pitcher. When, you talk about the olden days, pitchers were expected to go 9 innings. They were expected to go there was no bullpen. It was, hey, babe, you go out and you pitch, and tough luck if you get rocked for 17.
Yeah, but like I said, I don't in any way think that it should be held in the same regard as a nine inning no hitter. But I do think it deserves a place in history, in MLB history, saying he threw a no hitter with the situation that was provided to him. It's official. Yeah, it's not as great of a feat as getting 27 outs. It's the same thing I would say as if someone gets 20 strikeouts. It's not as great. I mean, we see guys go 15, 16 strikeouts. It's not the same feat as 20 strikeouts,
so
right?
Is that a junior no-hitter? Like, is that like you go to Wendy's?
You can call it whatever you want. If you want to call it a junior no-hitter to take him a peg down from a regular no-hitter, that's fine. Then we'll call it a junior no-hitter. I just feel like he deserves a place in history because he still faced the minimum number of hitters without giving up a hit.
Mad Bum's going to be... He's going to have his own slot in history, as far as I'm concerned.
He can be the back page no-hitter and just start on the very back page of all that shit. Just put everyone who did 7 innings, and no one can cry about it.
There. You just solved the world's problems right there, EB.
Look, I'm available for hire, whoever needs me.
Alec, do you have a take on this?
I'm just kind of sitting back and listening because this is the first time hearing about this, and I'm just trying to absorb all this. Yeah, no, this is all new to me. I've What
are you studying for the draft already?
No, I just haven't been on my phone most of the weekend. So
jeez.
Yeah. But I'm agreeing with Ty here. From what I'm hearing about it, he's making a lot of solid points. Even though he threw a 7-inning no hitter, it's not as much as 9, but he still threw no hitter. So it's not as much as a 9, but.
Does anybody else hear what I'm hearing? Like that I'm not taking away from Alec, but you hear this, right? I'm not the only one hearing it. It's not as much as a 9, but I mean, he should still get credit for it.
Not credit for a 9, no.
No, but
so it's different. Yeah.
So what are you going to say? Like, again, you've got to preface this and say junior no hitter or 7-inning no hitter. But then how many pitchers from now on are going to go in and be like, you know what? I got a no hitter through 7. I'm cashing out, man, because I got a 7-inning no hitter. We still got 2 innings left to play. I got a 7-inning no hitter. Like you can't penalize them, can you?
Yeah.
We got somebody calling in. We got no way to answer it unless Alec wants to answer it. Do you know how to answer it?
No, 0 clue.
Okay.
Yeah. It's a hot topic though, and I felt like this was a good place for discussion though for it because I could see both sides. I really can.
You argued both sides.
I did.
When I let you talk, you argued yourself.
I can argue both sides, but I still stand firm that it should count for something in history at the end of the day.
Okay, so should I don't even know what to compare.
If you do basketball sense, say there's something with basketball and it goes 3 quarters. Someone has a triple-double at the end of that. That doesn't count as a triple-double because it doesn't go.
Games don't get canceled.
It's official 4th quarter. But I get that. But I mean, I'm trying to make sense of it because there's really nothing like baseball that doesn't keep a time limit on sports, and that's what's really hard with it is because
nobody's watching basketball anyway. It doesn't matter.
You need to get the 27 out.
What, Quinn?
Doesn't count. Next.
Yeah, and what Amo is saying too, if you go 7 innings, you get credited with a complete game shutout. So if you can get credited with a complete game shutout, like no difference, you still get credited with a complete game shutout in your record books as a stat. How do you allow that, but don't allow anything else after that?
Well, because your ERA's
a complete game is still a pretty. I mean, not as rare as a no hitter, of course, but it's still a rare feat in baseball.
A no hitter is a golden star, right? It's a golden star. It doesn't. It's blah. It doesn't matter. It's not an official statistic, but a complete game shutout is. It goes into the record books, right? CGSO. That's what the complete game shutout. It goes into the record books. No hitter is just for us to talk about. It's just for the baseball writers of America to talk about. It's for the headlines. That's all it's for. There's no
people better start talking about the 7-inning no hitter that Mad Bum just threw because it should be official somewhere in the record books, in the Associated Press, written somewhere.
So the guy that threw against the Pirates the other day for the Twins, that threw 8 innings of no hit baseball, he deserves to be having no.
Was it predetermined that was supposed to be 9-inning games?
No, but he went 7.
No,
in
but
fact,
that's
he went an inning and a third more than Mad Bum. So let's give him a trophy too.
It wasn't predetermined a 9-inning game like this game that Mad Bum threw. It was predetermined that this was a 7-inning game.
Well, then they should have pulled him in the 5th.
Has he said anything about it?
Just that he would have
It's only it's us that's arguing about it because this dude's cool with it. I know Madison Bumgarner is notorious interview-wise, not caring or not giving a shit about anything really. He's cool with how it is.
Beers.
So in theory, if I were to play a football game or a basketball game, and before this game started, it was predetermined. Instead of it being 32 minutes of a basketball game, which is a complete high school basketball game, they wanted to do 6-minute quarters, which would be 24 minutes. Are you saying, and I won that game, would you say that wouldn't count as a win because I didn't play 32 complete minutes, which is standard, but it was predetermined it was going to be 6?
No, the win's a win. It still counts in the win-loss column. It's just I would question. First off, I would have a problem with it because you're not letting your players play long enough for if you're looking for stats, and that's what baseball is. You're constantly looking for something to have a hang your golden star on, right? You're not letting your football or your halfbacks have as many carries, your quarterbacks have as many throws, so that affects their statistics for what they're trying to do long term and short term. So if Mad Bum's really worried about this, and trust me, he's not, then like give him a no hitter. Nobody cares, but it's unofficial. Like again, you cannot take away from a 9-inning no hitter. You just can't.
Well, you can't. I mean, I get what you're saying, and this dude's a no hitter. We'll just say chalk it up as it doesn't hold as much weight as a 9-inning because you're 2 less innings. But I agree with Ty in the sense that it was predetermined that it was going to be 7 innings. That was a variable that that Mad Bum could not control.
Correct.
He was just the rotation just had him starting that game, which is probably a variable that he once again couldn't control. That's up to his coaches. So he's just dealt with this situation. You can't fault the guy because really everything was out of his control, and you can't sit there and say, "Look, bro, it didn't count because the MLB is effed up." And, they don't want to make a decision, so we're not going to give you this, but here you go. Whether they care about stats or not, yeah, it's fun to talk about, but you can't sit there and short someone in a situation that they had zero control over.
It's not an official stat. It's not. You know what I mean? Like, if it was an official stat, MLB would have to address it, but it's like it's a headline. That's what it is. A perfect game, you'd have real problems. Because a perfect game, I believe, and somebody can correct me if I'm wrong, it is an official stat. Ty's looking it up right now, trying to prove me wrong.
This is the one research paper he didn't do, damn it. I knew I should have done that research paper about 7 innings and not 9. Just
back in 2010. Uh-oh. He found something. I don't like it.
Look, man, I'm just wondering how looking at Ty's ceiling, I'm just wondering if he hides drugs up there because
you can see the feds pop
up. This ain't my ceiling. This is this is my pop's
this is like
basement ceiling. So I can't speak on anything like that.
Hey, Jim Bartell is getting a U-Haul as we speak. he's getting a U-Haul.
I think I zoned down or something. When did Ty get inside?
Yeah, I don't remember Ty going inside either.
Don't you have the controls quick? Can't you see him go from outside to inside?
I don't remember him going inside. He was outside when we started, and now I don't remember him going inside.
Now he's in parts unknown.
Yeah, I honestly sat there for about 45 seconds and wondered when Ty went inside because I was like, dude, I swear to God, there was a window behind him.
Yeah.
He's in with his address, too, by the way. So just in case. The Jimmy Bartell underground lair. We're going to take a break. When we come back, more to talk about here from the sports world. We had a big weekend in sports here locally. Salem, South Range baseball battling to a split series. We'll also talk about what's going on around the world in sports. Chime in on the YSN comment section and have your voice heard. We'll be back with more of this and, of course, our G. Berwick Farms What's Your Beef, What's Your Filet, brought to you by our friends over at G. Berwick Farms after this.
No matter what the weather, be prepared with a reliable, efficient Ruud gas furnace or air conditioner from MP Vivo Heating and Air Conditioning. Call your energy-efficient expert, MP Vivo, today for a free estimate.
Here at MP Vivo, we rely on Ruud, and so should you. storm season.
I think we're under the gun for some heavy storms over the next couple of hours.
And Storm Tracker 21 is ready.
This is probably the one we're keeping a closer eye on.
On air.
And locally, we're going to have a lot of eyes on our area.
Online.
All right, let's talk high-risk futurecast and the timing of this weather.
On social media and on our app.
Rain will come and go tomorrow. There'll be some dry intervals.
Stay ready with Storm Tracker 21.
The severe weather threat now through around sunset this evening.
Myers Family Insurance knows the importance of a great team.
Our team continues to grow to help you with your Medicare and retirement needs.
The annual election period is October 15th through December 7th. Now's the time to make sure your plan continues to meet your needs for the upcoming year.
Call today.
60 years ago, Baird Brothers Fine Hardwoods began with 3 siblings, a hand-set sawmill, and a few local orders. And while business has certainly changed over the years, what has not are our principles of hard work, craftsmanship, and commitment to quality. At Baird Brothers, we're proud to put our name on the products we create, from moldings and doors to flooring and lumber. Thank you for 60 great years. We look forward to 60 more. Baird Brothers, for the place you love.
And welcome back to the YSN Power Hour. DJ Yoakley with you alongside Quinn and Alec. And whoa, Mac Solo's here. We got Ty Bartell in the middle and EB. Gentlemen, before we talk about, I'm assuming Mac wants to talk about the Mad Bums stuff. Just a guess. I do want to introduce a new tool.
That's the feds. They're breaking down Ty's door. Ty, I'm sorry.
This is this is something new for us here. So I want to try this out. So do the hashtag Power Hour in the box here. So this is new from our friends over at StreamYard. Do hashtag Power Hour in the box to be eligible for a new giveaway from us here at the YSN Power Hour. We're going to give away a YSN keychain similar to this right here. I don't know if you guys can see that. There it is. You can't see my face because I'm covered up by a logo, but there's the YSN keychains, these rubberized shields that we have a ton of. So make sure that you type in the comments YSN Power Hour, and at the end of the show, we will do a giveaway for one of those keychains. We'll get it out to you. But it's a new tool for us to utilize through, it's kind of like a drawing tool, like I don't even know what you'd call it. It's a giveaway tool. So we're going to give that a shot before the end of the show. We'll try to do it on Mondays and Fridays for all of our fans. So again, it's hashtag Power Hour to be part of today's giveaway. And today's giveaway brought to you by our friends over at iSynergy, the ones that get it done for us here on YSN. They've taken our load times down from 11 seconds down to 2 seconds, which means more sports for you all around ysnlive.com. All right, back to the subject at hand, the topic at hand. It is Mad Bums no-hitter official. Should it be legitimized? Mac, you're a pitching coach. What's your take?
Nope. Shouldn't be official.
Nobody saw that coming.
Why not? I'm a rules guy at the end of the day. I mean, rules state, hey, you gotta throw the 9-inning game. I'm cool with that. I mean, it's just, I don't want to say it's just a no-hitter. It's not, because no-hitter is quite impressive. It's one of the most impressive things to do. But at the end of the day, I mean, unless it's in your contract that you're going to get paid $1 million extra to throwing no-hitters, I mean, I'm sure he don't really care at all. So he's just glad he got the dub and on to the next game. It's just unfortunate that it fell on a 7-inning game compared to a 9-inning game. But you can't predict those things, so I mean, it's just unfortunate, but on to the next game, man. There's 162 games in the year.
I did not see that very matter-of-fact opinion coming. I figured you were going to be all spit-faced and spitfire and ready to go. And
Baseball's weird. There's a lot of old school people who write these, that come up with these rules and laws and whatever that they decide. I mean, you think of the movie 61 where they were changing, you can't break Babe Ruth's record because he did it in 150 whatever games and you're doing it in 162. Baseball's weird. If they want to change something, they'll do it just like that, just because. If you're a fan favorite or if you're beloved by the nation of writers, then they'll change it. But if not, they don't really care. They like to stick in their ways, man.
Scotty chiming in saying, and by the way, the cutest picture of Scotty I've ever seen in my life. A little kid with Scotty. That's awesome. It's priceless. Andy Ann's best pretzels on the planet. Period. Ballpark mustard is the best condiment. Mac, do you have a preference on soft pretzels?
I like them. We just had some at the casino the other night. All of them are good. I don't have a preference per se. I mean, salt. I guess if that's what you're asking, just put a little salt on it. I'm good.
Do you want the regular, or do you want like cheese filled or jalapeno filled? Like what's your go-to?
See, one day you were on this show, and it might have even been a year ago.
I think it was.
I can't remember, but you told us about the sheets filled cheese, and I think that day or the next day after that I went and got one because I'm like, I didn't even know they had them there, and they were spot on.
Change your life.
Speaking of which, on the pretzel, most underappreciated thing is the pretzel bun.
Yes.
I'm torn on this because it's only good on some things. I've learned
I can eat on every burger ever.
But like burgers, yes. A sandwich, though.
Hot dog bun. I can do that too.
But like a sandwich. Like, could you eat a...
I like pretzel buns on sandwiches.
See, it depends because it can get soggy too.
Well, you need like the condiments to kind of soak into the pretzel a little bit.
Yeah.
Or else it's not doughy. Like there's too much bread or too much too much pretzel. But,
yeah. Well, you just have a tall beer, maybe 2 beers. And then you have your pretzel.
Mason jar beers?
2 more beers.
There you go.
Look, I was just happy, and I thought of Billy today. And actually, one of my players, because she drinks everything out of mason jars, but I found a mason jar and it had a handle on it, so it's going to be the dedicated beer cup.
There you go.
That's clutch.
There you go. I was some new stuff over the weekend, like shirts and stuff off of Boomba. I don't know if you guys know the site Boomba. But it's like a softball / baseball page. They do a lot of different sports now, but I found a Jeff Bezos shirt I had to get for him. Just had to get for him. It's bald eagles, like a Hawaiian shirt, bald eagles all over with aviators on, with the American flag. So we got that shirt for Jeff, and we'll display it on his first ever show. Jeff Bezos, by popular demand, now has his own show about golf. It's called Birdies, Bogeys, and Bezos. So there you have it. I
totally thought it was going to be Pith Mythos.
Pith Mythos. So I told him he's got to wear it on the show at least once. So I'm excited for it. But yeah, stuff like that. Like, do you ever see stuff in the stores and immediately think of one of us? Like, that's that guy. Every time I see a mason jar, it's Billy now. Every single time.
Anytime I see dad shoes, Air Force dads, Quinn all day. Like the Danny Tanner Elites, Quinn.
I'll one up you. I got you one up. My sister sent me one. I gotta find it. Hold on.
Red shirts, tie, all day. Alec, you still got to find your shtick.
Oh yeah, I'm working on it.
This is good, Quinn.
I gotta find it. My sister sent it to me, and I don't know where it's at.
This is fantastic. You know what else is fantastic? Is AMO, and we might as well just give him the keychain. We're trying to get this thing tested out. The hashtag YSN Power Hour. If you're out there, look, just like this, just like AMO did. YSN Power Hour. Do it, because we want to pull this thing after the G-Burger from. All right, Quinn, what do you got?
Paige doesn't win something, I'm good.
Paige isn't here today.
It's gonna be my next shoe.
Oh no.
That's awesome.
Oh no. Hang on.
Oh
no.
yeah. Look at that.
Glorious.
That's got dad's shoe written all over.
Look at that.
I literally just had just had Full House theme like playing in my song.
I'm all in.
Like whatever happened to predictability.
The milkman, the paperboy.
Quinn's about to have back problems and start caring a whole lot about his lawn in the next week.
I do have back problems, and I do like my lawn.
There you go. You're already halfway there. You're getting the shoes to fill it now.
Unbelievable.
And that ties into my beef, actually. So,
is there a worse pair of shoes? Have you ever been so excited for a pair of shoes or cleats or anything like that because of the look of them, and then you put them on and they're absolutely atrocious? They just don't fit your foot well at all. You guys ever had that?
Oh yeah.
I had a pair of spikes. They came out. They're Adidas Eddie George when I was in high school. Couldn't wait for that. They finally got here. I was stoked about them. Put them on, and it was like a bunch of plastic that just kept breaking. It was like this. I had to take them back like 3-4 times. I got like 4 different brand new pairs of shoes. And you know how it is. You put these spikes on. They're like you got to mold them to your feet, and you got to wear them around. It's like pain in the ass.
Do you remember the Cam Newton ones? I think they were they looked like a boot almost. So they had the zip up the Under Armour. I remember thinking how cool those were, how awesome, and all I wanted to do. Now, granted, I was still a lineman, and all I wanted to do was wear those shoes because they were not for linemen at all. Because they had no ankle support, even though they looked like a boot. That was all like that what's that flimsy stuff that they use, like cloth, whatever.
The fly wire.
Yeah, so they use that and you just zip it all the way up. Now the problem is, Cam, like those boots were like this, right? So you put your foot in, it's a regular cleat, and then you zip it up. It came up to like my mid calf. Like I couldn't zip it up all the way because I have calves that are big, and then my the natural foot. But I'm 5'4", so it was like half my body to just fit in these shoes. So I was so mad that I couldn't get these shoes. And even like I got these baseball cleats, like softball cleats for my slow pitch days, and even the little boot looks stupid on me because I have to put my pant over top of it so it doesn't look like it takes up half my body because I'm so little. Dynamite drop in. Alec, what's the worst shoe you've ever had?
I'm not. Back when I was a wrestler, which was way back in the day, I was not very good. I got this pair of wrestling shoes, and they fit good in the store, and I was like, they look kind of cool. I don't remember what they were offhand, but then the more I like broke into them, like they were like lopsided almost in the sole, so I was like walking on the edges of my feet the whole time. It was not good.
Billy, quick question for you. I just got a text asking they want Billy's take on Ysn getting knocked down from number 1 to number 2 without losing a game. What are your thoughts on that?
Yeah, again, this is a writer's world we live in, and to be ranked in the state, there's all kinds of different things you got to qualify. But it don't matter. All that matters is at the end of the year. I mean, really, if they were number 1, what did the number 2 team do to who's the number 2 team? Anybody know?
Before, I think it was Cardington Lincoln.
So who did they beat over the weekend? Because Ysn beat Bishop Watterson, so that's a pretty big win there. So
they beat
really
Ontario.
Who did?
Cardington Lincoln or whatever they're called.
Yeah.
Beat Ontario.
Okay, so where's the difference between the vote there over the weekend? So that's where I don't. It really doesn't matter. I mean, Ysn's been impressive. 1, 2, 3, they don't care. Coach K he don't care. All he cares about is keep getting W's and keep pushing forward and testing his team out into the postseason and then go on a run.
Yeah, I'm gonna try to pull up this while we're talking here and see where everything went wrong. Because it's from Ohio High School Fast Pitch Softball Coaches Association, but they don't. I'm not seeing the first. So
edition. Is that like every Ohio coach, or is that just a select few? Because I think that makes a huge difference.
I think it's select.
How I remember it is you have to basically be a member of the Ohio Coaches Association first, and then you have to pay the member fee to be involved in that, and then you get a vote, and then other teams vote for you. Well, it's almost like you're lobbying for votes. So that's why it's a really cool honor, and I'm not taking anything away from anything. It's just one of those If you're the last team standing, who the hell cares if you were 1 or 15 or 25?
So here you go. Here I found it. Youngstown Ursuline last week had 3 first-place votes, but Cardington Lincoln had 4. And Ursuline was still the number 1 team because of the total points they accrued, with 86 over the 79 of Cardington Lincoln. So these two have been 1 and 1A both weeks now. Right. And I think they just decided to flip it because someone flipped their vote, because now it's 6 first-place votes for Cardington Lincoln, 3 for, I believe it's 3, whatever it is, for Ursuline. Last week, Williamsburg had 2 votes, Wheelersburg had 1, which is interesting because Wheelersburg has 1 this week as well. So it makes me wonder if Wheelersburg is voting for themselves.
Absolutely, all day, every day, 100%.
Yeah, I would guess that myself. But yeah, it's an interesting take. Like I know Coach, we talked about, taking a mentality, taking it as a motivation and motivator. Coach Kernan's going to take this as a motivator, because when you're sitting undefeated, there's not much more that can motivate you. You know what I mean? There's not a whole lot of people that are willing to take a number and then poke the bear. And this thing
we talked about it last week with them, and he does a great job of creating that competitive culture inside his own dugout. Mm-hmm. So will this help hurt? I don't really know. I think Coach is he's pedal to the metal. They had a comeback win over the weekend against Bishop Waterston, and then the game against Hubbard had to basically walk-off victory there. So he's had 2 pretty close games, and I think he just wants to get on pace of hey, let's get back to what we do, keeping the score down and scoring a lot of runs. So that's kind of been their focus from here on out for the rest of the year and to that second half of the season towards the playoffs.
Yeah, I'll give you a little preview for what we're going to talk about tomorrow. South Range, Salem battled over the weekend to a split. And, Salem owned the first game that was a continuation of a game 2 weeks ago. And then South Range, the second game, beat up on the Quakers and beat them 14-2. Excuse me. So the biggest thing that I'm seeing around this valley is there's a lot of talent, but there's also a lot of teams that don't care whenever they get beat one game to the next. They're willing to take it the extra mile, and just like our friends over at Greenwood Chevrolet, and they're also willing to fight back. They just don't lay down after they lose one game. They're willing to fight back. We saw Austintown Fitch over South Range, which is a surprise to some, not a surprise to others. We're seeing a lot of teams in this area kind of rise up and play good baseball and good softball against each other, and they don't care where teams are ranked. So I think it's going to be interesting, and that's what we're going to talk about tomorrow. But what we're going to talk about right now is our friends over at G. Berbick Farms, who kindly sponsor the next segment. It is What's Your Beef, What's Your Filet? It's brought to you by G. Berbick Farms on New Buffalo Road in Columbiana. If you're too far away, go to gberbickfarms.com and order from their farm to your freezer as soon as today. Let's go. Alec, why don't you start us off today? Because you've been piggybacking off other people's beefs for way too long. Let's go.
All right, so my beef today is that, well, it could be a beef and a filet, because I slept till about noon, which I haven't slept well the past 3 weeks, so I caught up on that, but I woke up at noon, so I didn't get anything done.
Oh, boy. One of those, the catch-22s. Quincy, what do you got?
I've got 2 beefs.
Uh-oh.
Straight beef. One, my dad cut the grass the right way and pushed the grass clippings out. It's unacceptable. There's grass clippings all over the place, and I hate it. It drives me insane. Second beef, I've ordered shoes 3 months ago.
You can go out there and you take your ass on that tractor and you can mow that shit.
Listen here. I try. He got to it before me. It's unacceptable. I don't need you to tell me how to cut my grass.
Pick up a rake or a leaf blower.
How to fix the problem of your beef.
Is that the most Canfield thing that's ever been said on this show?
Yes.
Probably.
There's grass clippings on my driveway.
They're not on the driveway. They're just all over the yard, and I'm allergic to grass and stuff, and I just...
Where the hell do you think it's going to
go? The right way. Blow it to the neighbor's yard.
I have 2 blades. That's
yard.
Richie's yard.
No, he's not my direct neighbor. He's one house down.
Oh, he's only your direct neighbor when you need it.
In the cul-de-sac, we're direct neighbors because you could draw the line. Yard-wise, we're not.
You see where we got confused?
There's one house in between. It's that simple. And he blows his grass clippings into our yard, so blow them back into his. It's that simple.
Your neighbor or Richie?
My neighbor.
Okay.
Yeah. Just cut it the right way.
What's your second beef?
I ordered shoes 3 months ago from your favorite website, and they haven't came yet. It's unacceptable there, too. Give me my damn shoes.
No. That is acceptable. In fact, it's to be expected because you've seen it happen firsthand.
They seem to come right to you in a week.
It's by bulk, baby. It's by bulk. Quinn, I'm so mad. Like, I'm not mad. I'm just disappointed you calling your dad out. Your dad is a saint.
The wrong way. He knows I cut it the certain way, and he just doesn't do it.
So why the hell didn't you cut it? Why is your dad cutting the yard, not you?
Because he has more free time than I do, apparently.
Somebody's at basketball practice.
Yeah. He did. He cut it on Saturday, actually.
Well, buddy, you better practice a lot more because you're like 1-9 on the season.
I know. I'm aware.
Do you need a third beef there, Quinn?
No.
All right, let's go to EB. EB, what do you have?
I mean, I really got nothing other than the way Cleveland is set up. It's stupid. Like, or the way people explain Cleveland to be set up. Like, oh, hey, if you're going to Lost Nation and you need to go to Garfield, it's not that far. No, it's far. It's an hour from each other. And when people don't want to meet up in the middle because it's an inconvenience for them, it drives me nuts, especially when I live an hour and a half away and I have to go around and gather all this stuff. And they want to get home quicker than I do. Well, no shit. I want to get home quick too. I've been here 3 days driving all over God's green acre of Cleveland and dealing with Dead Man's Curve and everything else. So
yeah, dealt with another shooting too.
Yeah, and people shooting people in my hotel room. That was cool.
What?
Yeah, the hotel. So the hotel I was at this weekend, I missed it by like 2 minutes. So I left at about 6:45 to get to the site that I needed to, and like I pulling out on the road and like all these cops came flying by, and I was like, I didn't think anything of it. I was like, someone pulled the fire alarm, little kid picked up the phone, dialing 911, whatever, typical shit. There's a dude who shot a kid in the head in my hotel room, and like at 6:30 in the morning.
Whoa!
The most wild thing, and like I didn't know anything of it until I got back to the hotel room that night, threw on a basketball game, and like the Cleveland News was on, and they're like, I was dealing with some other stuff, and they kept on showing like a picture of my hotel, and I was like, what the hell's going on? But like, because it's a newer hotel, so I didn't know if it's like whatever they're doing some little inaugural, and they had some Amazon stuff there too, and they're like, yeah, some dude shot a 6-year-old in the head 6:30 this morning.
6-year-old?
Yeah.
Oh,
wild thing is. I mean, fortunately, they caught the dude, and I don't know what the outcome was. So I hope everything was okay.
Hopefully, it's the electric chair.
Yeah. So but is kind of wild and interesting Saturday morning.
I don't care how bad a 6-year-old ever is. They don't deserve to be. They don't deserve that. Let's just put it that way.
Right.
That's terrible. All right, turn the page. Ty.
Wow. I mean, geez, EB, you put this. I was gonna have a beef, and it was gonna be talking more about Mad Bum because I have something to say on that, but I'll keep that in my back pocket for later.
Go ahead. We got time.
No, we're fine because I want to turn the page. I want to do something positive, and I've actually been meaning to do this fillet for a while. I want to give a fillet to Mark Roth over at Austintown. He really does a lot with not only YSN but for Austintown schools and for the baseball club, and he really makes sure we're all set up every single time we're out there. And he's doing so much with the press box and everything else out there. So I really want to thank him for working with not only YSN but with Fitch as well. He's a really doing a great job over there. So I just send some appreciation his way.
Here, man. I'll get behind that all day. But you can still talk about Mad Bum, but let Billy go first.
Yeah, I have a beef. I've been dealing with this all day. Emails back and forth. I felt like I was talking to a 6-year-old child. Emailing me back. I'm trying to, put rosters together. I get an email today. I paid for this tournament that's coming up this weekend, months ago, and now all of a sudden they need X, Y, and Z. I'm like, okay, well here. Oh, you can't give it to me directly. You got to actually go on the site. By the way, it's $170 to sign up on the site. Well, I already paid for the tournament. Why do I need to do this? Well, because now you got to register for this. I'm like, well, how the hell does this make any sense? And why wasn't this? And this seems like some hidden fees, Mickey Mouse shit. And of course, I paid for it. And then I'm putting all these rosters in and birth certificates when I have to upload the birth certificates, and then the parent has to get on here and create a login and then sign in and then go ahead and click, yes, that's my child, which is a whole waste of time. And this has just been a fiasco. That's why I wasn't on the show today to start the show.
Oh, just red tape. That's all that is. Red tape.
For
Ty?
one tournament, by the way. For one.
Just standalone tournament. That's it. Not a series. Ugh.
Nope.
Ty, go ahead.
All I want to close out with is an immaculate inning in baseball is considered 9 pitches that strikes out the side. This is not an official statistic that is ever kept in Major League Baseball. It's not kept in the scorebooks. An immaculate inning can be considered in a 7-inning game and is kept throughout record books. It's a very rare feat, too, in baseball. So if you could have an immaculate inning, you could have a 7-inning no-hitter, damn it. Give Mad Bum his no-hitter.
I will rebut that with just saying that the only person that keeps track of the immaculate innings is the same guy that keeps track of the perfect game. So you and him can go sit and eat all the candy out of our candy bin and start your own little finagle show and hand out participation trophies to who you want to, and then
He's talking about Bo. Ding. You just got compared to Bo.
That was a very Poe-like statement, Ty. I'm not gonna lie to you. I'm very disappointed in that.
Hey man, it is. I'm bringing it up too. I'm trying to defend my man's Madison Bumgarner.
Your man. Wait a minute. Time out. Madison Bumgarner's your guy. I've never heard you say 3 words about the guy before.
I'm just saying too. He's not defending himself, so I'm defending him for him. I don't know.
Pretty sure the dude's going to be okay.
Yeah, he's all right. He's all right. Now, if this was any one of the Pirates pitchers throwing a no hitter, or any one of any team that stinks, like the San Diego Padres, then we'd be okay.
I mean, Mad Bum did destroy the Pirates in the wild card game too. So I mean, I guess you could. He is Pittsburgh's daddy.
Who is?
So, Madison Bumgarner. At least in that wild card game, he was definitely your daddy for a game.
All right, that holds like 0 weight. Most teams are Pittsburgh's daddy in the past 30 years.
Yeah, man. Good luck. Really happy for you that you won the World Series a couple years back, but sorry. Oops. Forgot
Are the feds knocking on your door, Ty? What the hell is going on?
Yeah, there's always something going on here.
Mine is going to be a little bit. It's not somber. It's kind of a neat little story we were able to carry yesterday, thanks to Amo to sending over the info and the picture. But over the weekend, Grandpa Vic, who is an avid golfer at the Berlin Lake Golf Club, nailed a hole-in-one. First ever, 89 years old, nailed his first hole-in-one, which is cool by itself. But then you add on kind of the stuff that happened prior to it in the 48 hours leading up to it. Lost his grandson, same namesake, and you could probably look this up elsewhere if you want to. But, we always talk about the hardships that we go through, and sometimes life gets really, really difficult and really, really challenging. But times like that, when you know that you've got a guardian angel over top of you and you know that that things are real upstairs and above the clouds, it's really cool to see. And it's great for us because it's sports related. So I was happy to be able to report that in such a way that it doesn't infringe on people's privacy or just kind of lower the excitement in it. And I know Grandpa Vic was excited to be featured on YSN, which we're grateful for as well. But what a story that was! 89 years old. You just lose your grandson, who's named after you, and I know we got a lot of people who know Grandpa Vic and know the situation, and our thoughts and prayers certainly go out to the family and Grandpa Vic. But what a cool moment for him to pull that ball out of the hole and kind of look to the skies, and just kind of one of those things that you always wonder. Every step is planned out for us. It's just up to us to execute it and to live our life the right way. So just a cool moment. I thought that was really cool, and I saw Amo popping in on it too, saying his filet was YSN making the Morrow and Pappas weekend. So Grandpa Vic, it's hard because you don't want to say congratulations because there's loss involved too. But our thoughts and prayers with you, and obviously we're excited to be able to highlight your highlight this weekend. So that's going to do it for the YSN. Oh no, it's not. Time out. We have one entry, ladies and gentlemen, for the first time ever. Oh, it's not even letting me draw. Somebody type in there. YSN #YSN Power Hour. Anybody. I'll type it in. Amo's going to win it, but I just want to try this out. Oh, wait, whoa, here we go. All right, here we go. Draw. Uh-oh, Kate Kelly's in there. I see her. Hey! Amo will give you the credit for that because there was only one entry at that point. But congratulations, you will get a YSN keychain for your efforts and for listening and watching us every day. So thank you very much for tuning in today. Tomorrow we will have a great show for you as well, and tune in on Friday where we will have another giveaway. We're going to give away one of our knit sideline beanies, I think, because we got a few of those left over. There it is. Max got it. He's going to be entering on that one for sure. So tune in.
Another top.
Tune in tomorrow 3 to 4 right here on the YSN Power Hour. We'll see you next time. Thank you guys for chiming in. Thank you for taking care of the comment section, and thank you to our sponsors. We'll see you tomorrow.